Alright, hello out there YouTube, this is Nilfoot here, and today we're talking about 7 Days to Die, and we're going to work a little bit on securing our place of residence. So, once you've picked out a place that you like, personally I like this little house here on Lake Road. Anyway, once you've picked out a place you like, whether you build it or have taken over a house like I did, you'll want to secure that house. Obviously, you want to protect yourself from swarms of zombies, the hordes. We can see lone zombie over there. Lone zombies won't produce much of a problem for you, but the hordes, especially on higher difficulties, they can be quite nasty. So, how do you do that? Well, the wood structure of your house is not going to provide a whole lot of protection. I actually had an incident with a zombie dog. One dog took out several blocks, dug a pit under my house, and took out some stuff inside. You want more than that. So what we would like to do here in this case, I believe, is dig around your house and put in some trenches and some nice spike pits. So you can see here we're digging with the shovel, which is actually going pretty quickly. We're going to want to go a little bit deeper than what I'm digging here, but this is just, the beginnings. Once you've dug out, a pretty good pit, all the way around your place, or if you choose to erect walls, which I'll cover that later on, you can put spiked pits at the bottom of that. Spikes at the bottom of your pit, sorry. Wooden spikes will work just fine. They cause quite a bit of damage. Now if you're lucky at this point, maybe perhaps you have found an auger that you can use for this, which will speed this up quite a bit. But you can see it goes pretty good. I wasn't digging very long there, and have a pretty good pit. You obviously want to watch the direction you're digging. You want to smooth up the sides. And then you'll have your basic protection from zombies. The shovel is actually pretty good, quote-unquote, renewable resource. If you look at the shovel, you see we can repair this thing with metal strips, which come from these short iron pipes. I'm not going to craft 15 into metal strips. And you'll get these short iron pipes off of zombies. You get them off of air conditionings, you get them out of cars. They come from just about everywhere. So using the shovel to do this is not going to produce a big issue for you as far as resources go. And those same metal strips are used to repair your fire axe. They're used to repair your spiked clubs, so they go a long ways. Now, as far as making the spikes themselves, of course, you can find those in your traps, and there's the recipe for those. So if we lay down some sticks, which are also very easy to get, as I'm sure you're aware, we'll produce 3 wooden spikes. So I'm just going to place one of those down just to give you an idea. So if we place one of those down, and of course if we walk on it ourselves, it's going to hurt us as well. Quite a bit, actually. So you can imagine what it'll do to rotten flesh. You create a pit around your place, the zombies fall in, and you're pretty good. You obviously have to leave some type of way for you to get in, which you can fortify in other ways. So I am going to continue digging this pit, probably erect a wall or make preparations to erect a wall, and we'll be back in a moment and we'll talk about some other methods of defending your nice little plantation. Okay, so here we are. We are working on crafting our trench outside, or digging it more accurately. And I wanted to show you one thing about crafting all these spike traps that we're going to need. Obviously, we will need quite a few of them. I will show you the trench here in a moment, and it's going to be a monster. So when you're crafting a lot of an item, like we're going to need a lot of these traps, if you select a recipe that's marked in green and you have the items, it'll automatically pull them from your inventory and put them here. So we can see I have 46 sticks in my inventory. If I select this, it pulls 9 of them, puts them up here, and we can craft. but they're grayed out, so that leaves you in a position of not being able to craft them again, without theoretically putting 9 more sticks there, which is just a pain in the butt. If you select off of that recipe, back on that recipe, you can craft them again. How to move my wood spike traps down here, pulled another 9 up, move off, move back on, and craft again. It's a little bit clunky, but it's much quicker than manually dropping 9 sticks. If it's a little small recipe, then maybe this won't matter, but this recipe requires a little bit of work here. So I wanted to show you that while we're waiting for the sun to come back up. As we can see, it's about 1:45 in the morning. So I'm going to keep doing my crafting here, and when I see you in the morning, we will finish our defensive structure. Okay, well, here it is morning time, and we have crafted quite a lot of the spike traps that we will need. I don't think I've crafted enough, but we've got a pretty good start. And we can craft several more with our wood planks there, and some other things that I have in the inventory. Anyway, so let's go out here, and we will take a look at our lovely trench that we have been working on. And there you go. Right off the bat, you can see what we've got here. This trench only goes 3/4 of the way around the house. On this side, I have not yet completed it. On this side, perhaps we will build the wall here and experiment with different walls for levels of security as opposed to pits. You can see I've already dug a little marker here, so I know where it goes straight across over to there, so I can get that lined up. I do have a little bit of work to do if I wanted to straighten this up and make it, perfect. Obviously here on the front, quite a bit to do. I left that like that so if I fall in the pit, I can get back out. Anyway, this pit is 2 blocks, or perhaps 3 if you count the angle. You can see where it angles as it's meeting the surface there. So it's 2 or 3 blocks wide, and it is 3 blocks deep. The 2 block width is for just one simple reason, and that is so that you can jump over it. If you're brave, or if you've left maybe a couple of spots here where you haven't placed spikes, you could perhaps jump over it and not make a bridge to get into your house. I don't know that that is a ideal solution, but it would certainly work. So, placing these spikes. If your pit is 3 blocks deep, you can actually place them from up here on the surface. Any deeper, and you would have to get down in there and place them. Obviously, if you made it deeper, you would want to place them starting at the end and working back. Now, you also want to make sure that, if you've done like I've done here and created a way to get out, you don't block yourself from getting out. Obviously you can break the spikes. They're not terribly difficult. And they don't have a lot of strength, so you can break those and get out pretty good. I like this pit arrangement because, as you can see, we can place these spikes 2 blocks deep. It gives you an extra security blanket, if you will. Maybe a little bit of extra peace of mind. If the zombies fall in and break the first row through the night, then you have some extra there. Also, they cannot climb out of this pit. Well, the certain zombies can, spider zombies, for example, but the regular zombies cannot. So they will actually just sit there and beat on the wall, as you can see they've done here, until they can get to you. Or you go out and kill them. But anyway, so this is the basics for a pit trap, and I will come back in just a moment and we will start working on our wall after we've taken care of this horde. Okay, so we killed our horde here, and I wanted to show you one additional thing. If we see in my hand here, I'm actually holding some spikes that have gotten a little bit of zombie blood on them, and you can see a few more down there in the pit. If we look at those spikes, and I'll put them up here on the ground. Actually, let's look at them here first. You can see that these are weakened spikes. compared to regular spikes. The stats are not different except for the burn time on the weakened spike is a little bit less. Experimentation is obviously required to determine if this makes a difference on how far a zombie can get. How long will these weakened spikes hold up against a zombie versus these non-weakened spikes. Anyway, just an interesting tidbit there, and we will get on with our wall here in a jiffy. Okay, so we are back now for the final part of this video here on some basic defenses, and we're going to talk about the walls, of course. So we'll just look right here. I've already crafted, this is a concrete wall, and this is a metal wall. You will notice that the metal wall is much weaker than the concrete wall. So if we start chopping into this wall here, and I'm not sure if the zombies do the same amount of damage that this pick does, but you can go back and count the hits if you like, and you'll see that that metal wall is probably not the best choice to make your wall. I understand you might not have the supplies for this concrete block, but I'll show you the recipe here in a second. You'll notice that the concrete block also drops itself, making it renewable. If we look at our inventory here, and the blocks are spread between building and miscellaneous, so you just kind of have to jump back and forth. This is the recipe for a concrete block. So if we craft this, we can see that this recipe produces a total of 4 concrete blocks for us. And once again, they are renewable. Once you've made them, you won't have to make them again, assuming that you can pick them up as zombies break them. Or if you have to break them because your construction just isn't turning out right, you can do that. So the concrete block, much better than that scrap iron wall, which is crafted as so. And I'll craft another one. Takes 9 scrap, only makes 1 wall, and it's not very durable. So those 2 walls, basic walls. I will show you some trusses that you can make, which actually the metal truss that you see here is a very good wall. You can see that it takes 9 of the short pipes to craft this wall, and you get 3 of them. The metal trussing is actually a really good wall. Another wall that has a similar recipe is this rebar frame here, and I'll show you that as well. The metal trussing, I will tell you, is by far the better wall to craft. You get 3 of them for your recipe there. If we go to the rebar frame and we craft that, it takes 8 tubes, so it takes 1 less tube, but you only get 1 of them. I honestly cannot determine a reason why you would craft the rebar frame over the metal trussing, but maybe you could think of a reason why you would do that. So we can place our rebar frame down. We can place our metal trussing down. The metal trussing is going to take maybe twice as many hits to destroy as the rebar. So not only is it more efficient, it's more durable. I just can't think of a reason why you would craft this block here. This one is much better in every way. So one other thing we can do to significantly increase the strength of our walls against zombies, we'll go back to our concrete block. Let's put our concrete block down. And say you want to be able to see what's on the other side of your wall. So you put down one of these trusses here. You can see through it. If you get the aiming right, you can actually shoot through it. It makes pretty good sense. But eventually the zombies are going to get to the wall. So perhaps you want to make your wall a little bit stronger. That's where I think we have to get this out of our miscellaneous. So that's where if we go here, reinforced metal siding, very small recipe as you can see, and we get 4 for this. The reinforced metal siding is basically going to double the strength of that wall. You can see here that we can left click to place this in various orientations. Obviously we want to place it in this orientation, and we will put that down. Okay, we can put that over top of any of these blocks. And I'm sorry, I left clicked instead of right clicked, but you know, that's the way it goes. So we've placed this down, and you can see if you place this, it's kind of like a contiguous pattern here. If we had a bigger wall, you could see how this goes. Let's pull out our axe here, a pickaxe. If you want to rewind the video and count how many blocks, or how many nails we put into that concrete block, I think we put about 13. This metal siding should more than double that. 16, 17 hits to get through this. Now, it doesn't drop itself, but you can see there was no damage whatsoever to the block behind it. So you have doubled the strength of the blocks for very low resources. Even if you were going to make wooden walls like we've got there, the side that's facing where the zombies are going to come from, you probably want to put the siding on there. Yeah, maybe it's not as pretty, but right now you're worried about surviving. You are in a zombie apocalypse. Okay, one last thing I will go over. Spider zombies. Those daggum spider zombies, it doesn't matter. They can climb right up this wall. So a trick to stop them from doing that, and obviously I'm jumping here, but you could make dirt scaffolding or whatever. As high up as you want to make this wall, when you get to the top of it, you might want to put a block like, say, that. The zombies will not be able to climb over that block, and if you have made stairs or something behind this, then you can get up on top of here, and you could shoot them, right down through the block there. So they can't get to you. You've in effect made a wall and a barrier to the spider zombies as well. So that would just about do it for the basic defenses. Obviously you'll pretty it up. You might have this wall come all the way across here, so that they can't sneak around. Maybe you want to bring it across like that. Something to tie your wall in with your pit. Walls are actually pretty resource intensive, but if you do it right, especially with these concrete blocks, you're only going to use the resources one time. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful to you. Please drop me a comment. Let me know what else we should do. Thanks a lot. See you.